Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of IJ Reads on the Bagus NG with Ijoma. And today we are landing in a West African country called Ghana with Blood on the Brain, written by Esinam Bediako. So I'm going to be reading for, if you've read this book, you know the chapter I'm reading from. It's going to be a very long read, but I'll try to keep it very, very short. It's published by Red Hen Press. Was published last year, 2024. So here goes. Learning to make fufu. Standing in the kitchen feels like standing in the oven. The heat suffocates me, and the smell of various foods cooking churns the acid in my stomach. It's almost too much. Every burner on the stove occupied by a bubbling pot, the oven stuffed with a turkey, a ham, and baked fish, the counters covered with bowls and trays of side dishes, African and American. Okay, Akoswa, Auntie Fergie says, pressing her palm against my shoulder. The jollof rice will be done soon. We have all the meat in the oven. We have made the macaroni and cheese. The cranberry, whatever that is, jelly is out of the cans. We made stuffed crab, the beef and spinach stew, the fried yams and tatale, and the groundnut soup for the fufu. Do you know what we need now? No, Auntie, I'm not sure. What do we need? She takes me by the shoulders and shakes me gently. The fufu itself, you silly girl. The last time you were here, you expressed an interest in learning how to make fufu. So come, I will teach you. At Auntie Fergie's instruction, I washed my hands and slid an apron over my outfit. She has pulled off her blouse and stands ready to cook in her bra and an undershirt. Auntie Gifty slides an apron on too and begins to inspect the plantain she will use for dessert. Really, my dear, here in an American kitchen, there's no point in making fufu the traditional way. Auntie Faggy pulls out a blue box of fufu powder, and I think that this isn't going to be any of kind of lesson at all. Just her showing me the easy way to prepare this West African staple. Boil water, add the powder, stir over heat until the mixture thickens to the consistency of a giant dumpling. But she continues, powders like this are a shortcut. You know, if your wisdom likes fufu once a week or more, as my husband does, you need a fast way to prepare it. At home in Ghana, Auntie Gifty jumps in. You cut cassava and plantain into chunks and boiled it for a long time. Then the cooked cassava and plantains are added piece by piece into a big wooden mortar and pounded very carefully with a big stick, tall enough that you must stand on your feet to pound it. Very carefully, Auntie Fegi repeats. One person cannot do it alone. Two people must do it. One to feed the chunks of food into the mortar, one to crush the cassava. You sweat? Oh, how you sweat, Gifty laughs. And it goes right into the food. At first, all you hear is the sound of the pistol hitting the wood. Knock, knock. But as water is added, as the dough is turned and kneaded, there's a different sound. The person doing the pounding slows down so that the pistol only touches the dough. The pistol going in and out of the food as it becomes thick and smooth. And instead of knock, knock, it sings foo, 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 foo as the air trapped inside the dough tries to escape. Auntie Fergie claps her hand together with a flourish, and when it is just smooth enough, no bumps or lumps, you are done. You add your soup or stew and you eat, and while you eat, you sweat out the same sweat of the people who pounded the yam in the first place. Whew. And maybe your mommy never told you, and perhaps you never learned in school. But when slaves came to this country from Africa, they brought with them this staple, fufu, and it became whole cakes, cornbread, grits, black American southern food. It all came from this history of preparing fufu. It is all the same idea but modified for different situations. It all came from our practice of pounding roots with care until they formed something of such overwhelming sustenance that you must sleep after you eat it. Auntie Fergie pauses, exhales deeply. She's never spoken to me for so long in English. Oh my God. Blood on the Brain, Esinam Bediako. Uh, I don't even know where to start because she's a Ghanaian American writer from Detroit. Very nice looking lady. She holds a BA in English. And then this book is, for want of a better word, a very interesting one because other than a few things that I noticed that, well, I will talk in full about it. I like this book, which is more than I can say because I read a lot of African books, and then you get this typical theme of Africans almost like feasting on poverty porn in some of their books, or the government being what they are, like what we saw in The Beautiful Ones Are Not Yet Born in Aya Kwe Ama's book. But this is different. And I don't want to give out a lot of spoilers. You need to get a copy of the book. I'm sure that even if Roving Heights doesn't have, it's not going to be so hard to source this book because it's one book that I want to read again and again and again and again. Because when you look at the few themes that are explored in this book, yeah, it's a lot. But if you're a young lady living in Nigeria, you will so relate to this book. And that's all I'm going to say about it. Get a copy of Blood of the Brain and let's talk. Until I come your way with another country, with another book, this is Ijoma, your girl, signing out. Bye.